Hey guys, what's going on? Evan here, Team X3 Drop. We've got Sam, and what deck do you have for us today?
I got, it's called Danger Rangers, so it's Super Quantal Dangers.
Okay, I like the sound of that. What made you decide to put this together?
I really like Toku and Power Rangers and, Super Sentai and all that, and so I kind of just really wanted to implement that to play Yu-Gi-Oh! And yeah, that's it. I just like the way it looks,
All right.
honestly.
Fair enough. You want to jump into it?
Heck yeah.
All right, let's do it.
All right, so we got 3 white layer.
What
This
does
is
this guy do?
probably the best one. So they both have all the Super Quantums, they have 2 effects. So the first effect is this one actually has 3, but the first effect is always an on-summon effect, and then the second effect is always a when they're sent to their grave effect.
Okay.
So for him, his third effect, the only reason that he's any different is because he's new, but his effect is you can discard another Super Quantum, a non-light Super Quantum, so you can't do Alpha, to special summon him. And then when he's special summoned, he sends a Super Quantum to the grave and copies the level and the attribute. And then when he's sent to the graveyard, he allows you to add the Alpha to your hand.
Okay.
And so he's a free summon. He's really good. I would not change this ratio at all. It's really good. And then I pretty much play 3 of all of them because you got to see them. 3 red. This is the second best one. So he's got the same deal going on where he has the sent to grave effect and the summon effect. When he's summoned, you get to add a Super Quantum from your grave back to your hand. And then when he's sent to grave, you get to special summon a different one from your grave.
Okay.
So yeah, and this one's always been good. This is the one people usually know about. And then 3 green. This one's kind of the worst of the 3, but you still got to play 3 of him. When he's summoned, you get to summon a different Super Quantum from your hand, and then when he's sent to the graveyard, you get to discard a Super Quantum to draw a different card.
Okay.
The second effect never really comes up. And then this one, I would argue actually that this might be the second best one, the blue layer. So her effect is on summon. She's a Stratos for the deck. She can add any Super Quantum card, spell, monster. I honestly don't know if they have traps, but she can add any of them, and that's on normal or special summon for all of them. So, you'll see why she's good. And then when she's sent to the grave, she just shuffles 3 Super Quantums into the deck, so that's definitely the worst in-grave effect. And then the last monster for Super Quantums is Fairy Alpha. He also has 2 effects, but he's a little bit different. So he lets you target a Super Quantum, or I believe any monster on the field, and change the attribute. That effect doesn't really matter. His second effect is really good. So he's basically, you tribute him and then you reveal any 3 Super Quantum monsters in your graveyard or in your deck. Your opponent randomly selects one for you to summon, and then the other 2 get sent to the graveyard. So it kind of gets everything going. He's really good.
Yeah, that sounds good.
And then for the danger package, it's just 2 of all the good ones. I'm not really going to bother explaining it. I thought about playing a Mothman also just because he's level 4, but that's the only thing I would change about the danger package because these guys are way too important.
Right.
This is a really big combo deck, so there's a lot of combo pieces here. 3 Lone Fire, and then the Lone Fires get the Predaplants. This card, I'll show you guys later, but this guy plus any monster in your hand, as long as you're working with the other cards in your hand, he can be Great Magnus with 8 to 9 materials, typically is what I've been seeing testing with the deck. So this package is super important because it just you auto win if you resolve its effect. And then Blow Up Bulb, again, combo pieces, Garnet, Guard Dragon Guy, Red MD. All bricks, all pretty terrible to draw, but you got to do it. And then I play a Terraforming and then 3 of the Field Spell. The Field Spell, what it does is it basically makes it so that you can discard a card to make all of your Super Quantums like the Zodiac monsters. So you discard a card, overlay the XCs that matches the attribute on top. So, there's the attribute messing with, and then, you can just make them fly on top of each other, which is really, really good. And then it has another effect where it can send itself to the grave, and then you can pick any Super Quantum XYZs you have on the field or in the graveyard, and then just overlay them all into a Magnus, as long as you have 3 different ones.
And that's the big boss monster, right?
Right. That's what we're working towards.
Okay.
We're a combo deck, so we like Called by the Grave, and then just some one-of spells that are pretty good. These 2 are combo pieces. These 2 have just always been really good in this deck. This card gets you Alpha, and this one gets you the blue layer, which again is the Stratos. So these 2 cards are really good and just happen to work in the deck.
Okay.
And then for the extra deck, again, this is a combo deck, so I'm playing a lot of interesting combo pieces to make this work. So I've got Ib. She just searches the Succession that I just saw, and then she also summons the Guard Dragon Guy from your deck. Seraphinite, because we play the Brilliant package. Guard Dragons, they're just a part of the combo with the green guy. Phoenix, just because he's a really good monster and I was missing a spot and I wanted something to put in. Jasmine, another combo piece. This is kind of the interesting part. 3 Saryujas. Basically,
wow.
basically the game plan is with all these combo pieces, you're all these like non-in archetype combo stuff. They just kind of help you make Saryujas and dig through your deck and just make it happen pretty much. I mean,
So you go through all 3?
yes, in the
wow.
combo.
Okay.
And then one of the link, this guy's really, really good. He doesn't come up in the combo, but he's there, because not all the times you draw the Scorpio. But what he does is he can't be destroyed by your opponent's card effects, which is really nice. And he just takes 1 Super Quant and any 2 other effect monsters. So he's pretty generic for the most part. You can make him with pretty much any hand. That's kind of like a failsafe. And then anytime a Super Quantum with a different name than one you've summoned in that turn is summoned, you get to draw a card. So there's 5 different ones you can summon. If you summon all 5, you've drawn 5 cards, basically. Wow. So he's really good. And then he has another effect where if a Super Quant Xyz is destroyed, you do something. You special a different one. You special summon the dude that matches the attribute.
Okay.
It never comes up. That's why I had to read it.
That's all right.
And then I just play one of all the XYZs. Because with the blue one, you can put them back if you really need to, and you just want them in the grave anyway. So I'll just do a quick rundown of them. I'll do this one last.
Sure.
This one, he matches with the blue ship. He, once per turn, pop a spell or trap. People might remember him from Metalfoe days, because we did like to play him. This one's the same deal, just Book of Moon. This one pops monsters, and this one negates monster effects. They all have their own individual effect that I just went over, and then they also have effects that they share. So the effect that they share is if they have the matching attribute Ranger for their attribute, then their effects become quick effects. So this one essentially becomes a Dryden, this one becomes a Book of Moon, this one becomes an MST that you can activate on your opponent's turn, and then this one's kind of like a Fiendish Chain, but a little bit worse. So like.
Okay, so if they have the Super Quantum of the same attribute as material, it becomes a quick effect.
Right, exactly.
Okay.
And so, it's kind of like a failsafe, you're not always able to get out Magnus, but, so these guys are not so bad by themselves. And then they also have an effect where you can put their Ranger into them, like from your hand or from your side of the field, once per turn during your turn, so that's kind of nice.
Okay.
So you can turn them into quick effects, or if they run out of materials or whatever, you can get some new ones going.
Right.
And this guy, the whole reason we play the deck, so he has a lot of stuff going on. So basically your game plan with this deck is to make this guy with as many materials as you can. And so if you get 2 or more once per turn non-targeting, you can shuffle a card on the field into the player's deck. So that's like the disruption part of him. If he has 4 or more, he cannot be destroyed or targeted by your opponent's card effects. And then if he has 6 or more, then it's a walking mistake. So your opponent can't activate cards from the deck to your hand. So it'd be like a Colossus type effect. And then when he's sent to the grave, you also get to summon 3 different of the ships, so the other XYZs from your graveyard. So if he ever does dip out on the field, then you have that effect available. Right. So yeah, I will now show you the combo that I do to try to get the Magnus with a lot of materials. So it's not so set in stone, basically. You just need this and a monster to discard, so I'll just do this Lone Fire for the sake of the example.
Sure.
And then you need just like any other random assortment of monsters to kind of get you there, so I'll just do some that are pretty lacking and not important, because you need to draw specific things along the Saryujas here.
Okay.
So I'll just do a quick shuffle just to kind of demonstrate. So what you do is, sorry, I'll do it the other way. I forgot.
You're fine.
So you go Scorpio, discard. His effect summons the Cobra from your deck, and then Cobra will get you the Brilliant Fusion.
Okay.
And then Brilliant Fusion on its own is just a really amazing card in this deck. Even if I wasn't playing this package, I'd still play this card. And then you play the Brilliant Fusion, or I'm sorry, you link these 2 into the Plant Link, and then you Brilliant Fusion, I'm sorry.
That's all right.
And so what you'll do is you'll send the White Layer and the Garnet, which will get you into the Seraphonite. And then, so that Seraphonite's important later because it gets you the extra normal summon. And then White Layer will trigger when he hits the grave, he gets the Alpha to your hand. And so from there, you summon the Alpha, and then you use Alpha's effect. And then at that point, you reveal the other 3 Rangers. So, and And then this is kind of where it gets a little confusing. So it doesn't really matter which one they pick here. Your opponent has to pick one at random. Best case scenario is blue, because if they pick blue, then these two get sent to the grave. Red will trigger and summon green, which is what you want. But, you know, sometimes that doesn't always happen. So I'm just going to kind of shuffle and then pick the one on the top.
Sure.
And then, so it was red. And so since it was red, we'll get his effect and we'll just go ahead and grab the green. And then from here you use Jasmine's effect and you tribute this off and you summon Glow Up Bulb. Where is it? And then from here, so it's kind of weird. And then so if they were to pick the red, then you would need another extender, but we have like the dangers for that. So like we'll just reveal Snake and then summon it, and then that gets you into the first Saryuja. And then Saryuja will draw you a whole bunch of cards, so we'll just draw the 4. And this is where our hand's at as of right now. And then so as you're doing these Saryuja plays, you need to make sure that one, you're putting your bricks back, which is already just gonna happen. We should all know that. And then we need to make sure that we're keeping the Rangers in our hand, because every Saryuja that comes out, we're wanting to make sure that it summons a Ranger. In this case, we need to kind of go about it in an odd way because, you know, we didn't get the favorable result off the alpha, but that's okay. So I'm just gonna put these ones back.
Okay.
And then Saryuja will special summon the green. And then Glow Up Bulb will mill and summon. And then you sink these two away. And you make your World Chalice guy. And then the World Chalice guy will trigger. And then you'll get the Succession. And then with the Succession, so like in this case, you would have the Succession and you would be able to summon green. And then green's effect will activate and then you'll be able to summon blue. And then blue's effect will activate and you'll be able to get the ship. So at any point during the combo where you summon the blue, you always grab the ship because the rest of the pieces are kind of already in place. Okay. And then from here, so this is the one Saryuja where the Ranger isn't going to stick around. So we need to make sure that we find the rest of them.
Okay.
And then so we make the other Saryuja, and then we do some chain blocking where we do the Ib effect and the Saryuja effect so that we don't draw this card. And it doesn't really matter where it goes. And then we Saryuja effect, and we get some new cards. 8 and 4. So good news is we got the blue. It don't really matter. So we'll just do these 3. Yeah. Oh. And then from here, the most important thing about this is like just making sure where all the Saryujas are getting summoned from. And so, sorry, this one hasn't used its effect. So this Saryuja will summon the blue layer, and then this one's already used its effect, so it don't matter. But you need to make sure that you summon the Ranger before this, because this Saryuja, you're not going to be able to summon anything except for dragons, because we're going into our Guard Dragon engine.
Gotcha.
So from there, you'll use LP's effect. LP will summon Red MD. And then Red MD's effect will summon this one. And then from here, what you need to do is link these ones. Into the last Saryuja. And then you draw your cards. This is going to be kind of lacking because we're not going to get there. I'm really sorry about that.
It's okay. Let's just see what it can do.
So you would put 3 back. And then so the really like beneficial thing about, I'll keep this one actually and put one of the level 3s back. The really cool thing about the dangers in this deck is they actually are used, they match up really nicely with all the super quantum levels. So like for example, these two, they have the same level. So you can just overlay them the same way that you would. Something I would have done a little differently in this combo is while one of the Rangers was on the board, I would have used the Magna Carrier's effect, and then we'd still be able to make Saryuja, but I kind of spaced it, to be honest, because I'm doing this on the fly.
Yeah, that's all right.
So Saryuja will special this guy, and then you'll use one of these effects, and then if they hit this one, or yeah, if this one goes through, so you would activate this and then summon it, and then this one would have been discarded, so it will also summon. And then that's kind of where it would come, where everything would come in place, right? I just am a big dummy, so I forgot. So you'd end up with these two just the natural way, and then you would have, like, let's just say at any point I didn't forget, like, let's just say I discarded one of the jackalopes that I kept and I made the Magna Liger and then I made the Saryuja, then at this point you would be able to, with no cards in hand, send them the ship, and then you would overlay all of these into the guy.
The big guy.
Yeah, the big guy, and he would have 7 materials.
A lot of materials.
Yeah, so yeah, I mean, the idea is kind of there. It does kind of suck because it's not like a totally like 100% foolproof combo. You're always going to get there.
Yeah, you're just kind of working your way through it.
And it is really fragile, so like you get hand trapped and you kind of die. But it is really cool and it's really fun to work out. So yeah.
So overall, you like the deck?
Yeah, I like the deck a lot. It has a really high ceiling, which I like a lot. You know, even if you do get stopped, there's still things you can do. Like I said, like these guys independently, they're pretty good. Like this guy's just a Trident, which is insane. So yeah, even if your combo gets stopped, you're still playing the game. You know, you're not just totally one and done, like some of the other combo decks out there.
Right, right.
Which I do like a lot.
Okay. Hey, fair enough. Well, thank you very much for your deck profile. Hopefully you guys like checking out the combo. Obviously a lot of options as to where you can go, and you know, within a turn.
And it is a really hard deck. That's like you guys just saw me mess everything up.
Yeah.
Hey. At one point.
Hey,
so
at the very least, you're getting to draw a lot of cards and do a lot of
yeah.
stuff, and
like,
that's pretty cool.
You'll get there. You'll get there for sure.
All right. Well, thanks again for the profile, and yeah, like, subscribe, comment, all that stuff, and we'll have another one for you guys pretty soon. Okay.